Well, since we don't know where this is going to, we don't know whether this is going to be posted on social media, played on TV, or go to the family. I'll keep it very simple and short because I'm not good at these. But Bray Windham was one of the first people I met at FCW. Soraya Page actually introduced me to him, and I feel like that was like it's like I opened a secret door to the best person, and it was like he let me in. No pun intended. He let me in just based off that introduction because she meant so much to him. And he was already with the Wyatt family. They were on their way, going to Raw and SmackDown as I was making my way into FCW NXT. So those promo days were insane. I had to sit back, and I didn't know how to talk in front of cameras. I didn't have a character. Didn't even have my name yet. And while Dusty Rhodes is talking up this group, talking up this man, and listen to his words, and you can feel him just by looking at him. And you would see Bray pacing back and forth before these promo days, and super intense, super intimidating, but just like breathtaking. I never thought that. I mean, that's a whole different level. I was like, I'm never gonna get to that, and that's okay because he one in a million. He's one in a million. But those were like my first memories, and then as we, got to know each other, I'm like, he's just a goofy guy behind that insane, intense, beautiful, electrifying character. He's just a silly dude with the goofiest laugh that you can hear like a mile away. And we had between him, me, Harper, Paige, and Charlotte, I feel like we're the only ones who do it right now. But we all have our own secret handshake, which and it's not really, I can't share it, but the last time I remember getting him with it, he's like, oh my God, I forgot all about that. And I think that was my first time seeing him since Harper passed. So Charlotte and I have to continue that legacy, for him, for both of them. And I can't stop thinking about family, Bo, Micah, JoJo, Mike. All you guys mean so much to us, and Bray and Windham meant so much to everybody. And yeah, I'll miss his laugh. And I'm gonna take from this just to be more kind, and to life is short. We're all learning that through all. I feel like every time someone leaves us soon, we all say that, but this one is just to remind me to be kind to everybody and be as positive as possible because he was. So thank you, Bray. We love you. We'll miss you.
I really don't know what to say. I've not been able to put together any words. Been numb, like a lot of people try to process what's happened. I can't even do a tweet, so I don't know why I'm sitting in this chair, but I think I owe it to Windham to try and find some words. It's when something like this happens, you start thinking of everything and every memory and every moment, and it's funny how clear they are. I guess we never forget anything. We're just a disorganized file cabinet, and when something like this happens, you suddenly start remembering everything. The bond you have with certain people, especially if you've been through certain situations and times in your life that really bond you so close. That was FCW for us, Florida Championship Wrestling, before NXT. I still remember the first time we met in Calta's gym. I don't think it exists anymore, where FCW used to be. Like Sheamus and I met Windham and clicked with him right away. If you can tell by the way everyone's talking, he's the friendliest guy in the world. An amazing human, such a brother. And I think Wade Barrett said it in his tweet about during those times, we didn't have any money. We're job scared. FCW wasn't like NXT. It was like we lived on our own little island, and we just had each other. And we built some really strong bonds with each other during that period. And I see some of the clips and memories, and are amazing from everybody's experience with them. And like how he always had this promo ability. He was always, that good at it. That is not exactly true. In our early 20s, we were all terrible. And I remember Wade and I particularly used to run out to Dusty's promo class when Dusty first started in FCW, tried to get our promos out of the way early so we could watch everyone else. And I remember every week for a period, Wyndham and a gentleman called Vic Adams, I believe he was called, had a tag team. And they were a detective agency for some reason, and the promos went on for like 15, 20 minutes of like nothing. And at the end, they always said, I can't remember the name of the detective agency, but they were such and such detective agency, back in business. And he'd be like, clear. And I'd be like, why were you in business in the first place? So it was even more oppressive to watch his evolution from there to who he became. And like the amount of nights out, man, I can't tell you. Like, we kept each other going. And God, some of the stuff I got to watch what I say. Even battle royals. Dr. Tom Pritchard would tell us, such and such is going to win the battle royal. That's what I'm going to tell him. But between Sheamus, you guys throw him out as a rip. We'd get like our boys like Wyndham and Wade and some of the guys, Harry Smith, and say, all right, we're going to chuck this guy out when he thinks he's going to win. And we'd all get together and chuck them out, and Dr. Tom would send them back to the ring, and I'd be like, Wyndham, boys, get them back out. And we'd chuck them back out the ring. And I first went on the road, he was still in FCW and helping me out a lot with things I needed taken care of at home. And finally, I came back for another night out, and I think I could tell this story. I was so excited to see all the boys and get a night out, and I remember they were getting particularly rowdy, and I told them, just don't do anything crazy, I got to take a phone call. And I'll never forget walking away, taking this phone call, and one of the boys was like, Joe, you could have come quick, Wyndham's down. What do you mean he's down? And I remembered he'd been saying all night, I can't be choked out, can't be choked out. And somebody apparently proved that he can be choked, and his nose was split across his face. And we had to get that fixed and make up an excuse for WWE about why it happened. And I try to remember these positive memories, man, because during these kind of times, like, you build this bond that lasts forever, and no matter how much time would pass, you'd have to talk all the time, you'd have to text all the time, but you'd see each other, and it's like no time had passed at all, because you'd been in the trenches together. You were brothers, you were boys, you were cowboys, and we grew up together. And to see the ups and downs we both went through our lives personally and professionally, and to see that we'd finally made it, we'd finally succeeded in both ways, this makes this that much harder, because he'd done it. It succeeded, and it's just not fair. We should be going to the wedding, not a funeral. Trying to stay positive. I'm trying to keep a smile going. I can't stop thinking about Jojo. I can't stop thinking about the kids. But career-wise, I don't have to say it. Everyone else says it. That's not in doubt. The fans will remember forever, but it's up to us to keep his memory alive, who he was backstage, what he meant to everybody. And the older you get, the more you realize that you don't have as many friends as you thought you did. And Wyndham, thank you for always being my friend. I hope we get to see you again. But we're going to keep your memory alive. And I love you.
It's really hard to find words for situations like this. But I think everybody, when something like this happens, everybody feels the need to kind of talk about the person we just lost, so that everyone knows just how great that person was, And everybody has different stories and different reasons why they loved Wyndham. And it's so great to hear all of it, to read about it all. And for me, it really helps to read and hear everyone's stories about Wyndham. So I figured I might as well share one as well. The first contact I ever had with Wyndham, I think really describes the kind of guy he was with everyone, because I didn't know him, we had never met. It was through Twitter direct messages. It was probably 2014. He had been tearing it up already in WWE for a little while with the Wyatt family. And like I said, I didn't know him. I knew of him. Sami Zayn had told me he's a good guy, stuff like that, but we never met, never talked, nothing like that. And for some reason, he followed me on Twitter one day, and I just sent him a message after a match he had with Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble. Told him it was a great match, good stuff, just really enjoy his work. And I always, whenever I message somebody that, that doesn't really know me or whatever, it's the first time, opening them like a communication, I just write like, I'm sorry to, message you out of the blue. Don't mean to bug you. And he wrote back, get out of here with that. I feel like we know each other already. And we didn't. But that's how he was. And the first time I actually met him, that's how he made me feel too. Felt like I was catching up with an old friend that I had known for a decade, even though we had literally just met. I've heard people say and read people's, recounts of meeting Wyndham as an extra in WWE, just backstage, just trying to stay out of people's way. And Wyndham would go out of his way to make them feel welcome here. And that's the kind of guy he was. Just a really loving, caring guy, genuinely good soul. And that's him as a person. As a performer, obviously the most unique and creative mind I've ever been around. And so creative, so unique that sometimes even I didn't get it. But man, everyone out there got it. Everyone. He was always so passionate about what he was doing. He was a true example of what we should all be. So that's about it. I just wanted to really make people understand how special a guy he was and how good he was to people. And people have mentioned his laugh already, but God, he's just a distinct laugh. It was so great to hear it. It's kind of laugh, like you hear him laugh, you don't even know what he's laughing about. You laugh too. As infectious as it gets. And we're all really, really going to miss that. And to his whole family, you guys all know this already, but you have like 60, 70 more even people behind you here. And we all love you. And we're all there for you. Goodbye, Wyndham. We love you.
Well, I don't really know how to do this or how to express what I'm feeling, because I'm having a very hard time really just believing any of this is real. So, but that might just be a me thing. And I know, we're here to talk about Wyndham. But the thing for me is, and this is just, again, for me personally, it's very hard for me to, denial's a very strong thing. And my brain's very good at it. So it's been a few days now, and I don't think I've really processed it at all. And there have been times where the reality of the situation has kind of crept up on me. But I think wrestling and my life, my entire adult life being a part of the wrestling industry, has made it increasingly hard to get used to the idea that someone is actually gone for good. Because, there are times, I was around Wyndham a lot when I first got signed with WWE. In 2013, we were joined at the hip a lot. I saw him pretty much every single day. And then, he gets called up and you kind of don't see him. And then eventually you get called up and then you're with him. And then they go to a different show and you see him and you get injured and you don't see him. And then you just get used to these long stretches of time where you don't see people. And in your head, they're just kind of locked in time. And I feel like that's where I'm at with not just Wyndham, but with Brody as well, with a few other people, with even people in my family. I just can't get my head around the reality of the situation. And I guess I just keep running, you know? Like I'm just running on the road or running away from reality or running away from the problems. But again, I feel like I'm unloading my stuff on you here when this is about Wyndham. But I don't think I could say much about him that hasn't already been said before, about what a sweet guy he was. It's very weird to talk about him in the past tense. Just what a sweet, sweet, sweet guy he is and was. He really did have a light about him. He could lift up an entire room. I don't know, there's just like too much to say. There's too many personal stories with him, personal moments, and I don't know. There's too many to go over. I don't know what to say. This is a loss in some respects for me, for everybody who knew him, for everyone in the locker room, because like I said, he had a way with everybody and he lifted everybody up. But I also find it difficult to talk about what he meant to me because I know how much more he meant to other people. And so my condolences and my grief is directed towards them, towards Bo, to his brother Taylor. Like just what two great guys, you know? To JoJo, to his father, to his kids. It's just like I don't feel like I'm allowed to almost accept any of the grief for me because it should be directed towards them. That's another one of the many complicated feelings I've got going on at the moment. But I'm so sorry for all of them. I can't imagine. And I could only imagine. There's nothing I can say to really make it better. But we all loved him. We all really loved him, and we'll all really, really, really miss him.
All I can tell you is what I know about Wyndham. Bray Wyatt. Amazing character. The thing that he was able to do is unbelievable. Every direction. It was just, I know that while I was in Japan watching the Wyatt family, I was thinking, how could I be in this family? How could I find a way to be part of this crew? Because it was so awesome. And Wyndham did such a great job with Bray Wyatt. It's unbelievable. The places that he took this character couldn't be done by anybody else. I know he loved his family. There's no doubt about that. Loved his girls. Loved his little man that he finally got. And it was awesome to see him with his family. I think everybody enjoyed seeing him. This big guy that could rip your head off, be a big teddy bear around them. So, Wyatt, Rotundo, Wyndham, Bray, you will be missed.
A lot of people could say a lot of things about Bray Wyatt. How incredible he was as a performer, how creative he was through and through, how giving he was, and all of those things would be true. But I think the things that will stand out to me about Bray Wyatt, first and foremost, is the man Wyndham Rotunda. Every time we entered the same room, and I'm sure people have the same story, the conversation always began with a big old hug and a giant smile, followed by a bunch of laughs. And then when the night was over, you had a memory that you would retain and carry forward. And we could talk about The Fiend and the Wyatt family and the Firefly Funhouse and how honored I was to be Postman Pierce in that little world. But through all of that, and all the great matches and all the great moments, I'm gonna remember the big hugs. And I'm gonna remember the big smile, and I'm gonna remember the big old laughs. Because, Wyndham, you did that to all of us every time we saw you. And we're all gonna miss that very much. My heart goes out to JoJo, to the Rotunda family. Every one of you have been great to me, and my heart bleeds for you. We will miss you dearly, Bray. And someday we'll see you again. I love you, my brother. Big baby. God bless you.
I just want to say thank you, Bray. When I first got to the NFL and I finally had some money to be able to spend and do the things that I always wanted to do before I could afford it, first thing I wanted to do was go to WrestleMania 30 and watch Bray Wyatt face John Cena. You know, I had the sheep mask on, the whole 9 yards. Bray encapsulated me as a fan. This is before I ever even finished playing football and became a wrestler. Bray was everything. He would randomly in his promos quote civil rights activists like MLK and Malcolm X and Huey Newton, and people wouldn't even catch that, but it resonated with me so strong, and his character work and just all around, like, he was one of my favorites to ever do it. And then, you know, to get here to WWE and for him to be an even better person, a great father, to be able to, you know, bounce ideas off of him and for him to sit down and actually listen, because let's be clear, like, he didn't have to. Like, if Bray decided that he didn't want to hear what you had to say, he didn't have to. He had reached that level in his career, and he would still take the time out to just listen to ideas and just laugh and have a good time and bring the boys together. And he was just a kindred spirit. He was just, I think, from way before this time. I think every once in a while we get people that are lost souls that are put on this earth to reach the masses. And, you know, I liken, you know, Bray to like Nipsey Hussle in that aspect, where they both were taken way too soon. But the impact that they were able to create while they were on earth, I genuinely don't think that it'll ever be duplicated. And I'm just so grateful that I was able to meet my idol and be able to call him my friend. And I'm just so grateful for everything that he did for my life that he doesn't even know. And I'm not alone. A lot of people feel that way about Bray, because he was just a light. He was a light that drew everybody in. And you know, before I was a wrestler, I was a firefly. And I'm just so grateful that I was able to meet him and have him be a part of my life. And, you know, the last thing he ever did in the ring was a segment with Hit Row. And I'm very grateful that I was able to even cross paths with him in the art form that he drew me to. So I'm just so thankful for everything that he's done. And I wish his family, JoJo, the kids, his brother, his dad, his entire family, I just wish them the best and hope that we can find some peace for them in these times. And Bray, I love you. A lot of people love you, and I love you.
You know, we had to do this together. We had to sit down here together like this because I know Wyndham, wherever he is in the sky, man, I know you're looking down right now. And one of the most genuine, loving dudes I ever met. And a family man, dude.
I love those kids, man. Loves those kids.
I feel so bad for his children, man. And JoJo and his family.
JoJo called us yesterday. We were shooting something for the net for .com, I guess, and well, you were there behind the camera. It dropped us to our knees, and we had to walk out of the shoot and not finish what we were supposed to do because it felt so surreal. And then being here today and seeing the things they're going to do for the tribute tonight, we were talking about it out in the stands. Like we wish it was a rib. I wish he'd pop out and say, "I got you guys." I just wanted to see what the reaction would be, but it's life, I guess.
Bray Wyatt, one of the greatest talents that ever stepped foot in a professional wrestling ring. Wyndham, dude, we love you, and I can't believe we had to do this.
It was a creative genius, and I'm real sorry, but hug Brody and the Funker for us. We love you, pal.
I miss you, dude.
Hearing Wyndham's passing, I was at home, and you get the texts like, you know, Bray ? Wyndham ? From all your buddies and guys in the industry, and and you're like, well, it was the same with Brody. It was like, this can't be real. Like, I don't know what's going on here. So it's like, for me, I've had like 3 losses in my life, but my sister was a big one where I was like speechless and like, it was like, dude, like she was way before her time, and like I had to deal with that. But when you're guys on the road, you know, like especially with those guys, like I was digging holes in Pueblo, Colorado for like minimum wage by some jerk boss, barely paying me. I'm bouncing job to job, and you like see when you watch wrestling, like when I was trying to get my way to make it, whatever, and they say it was like you saw the Wyatt family was like a breath of fresh air. So like for me, it was a big like time to look up to them and be like, damn, like these guys are as pretty as me and they're killing it. So it was I looked up like for someone to look up to, and sorry, I'm doing a lot of ums. But meeting him for the first time was like me and Tucky just got to the main roster, and we're passing him through trainers. It was kind of like, you know, beginning of the day, so everyone's kind of coming in with their bags and, how you doing? Well, yeah. And he looked at us and he goes, American apple pie. Who doesn't love American apple pie? Bring it in, boys. Welcome. And it was like cool for me. Like inside, I was like, oh man, like, you know, hey, this is cool, man. Like, we're getting some love, because again, it's always a little scary coming to the main roster and, you know, just kind of knowing your place, I guess. But we were walking, I forgot what town this is. It's like a weird, like, big U-turn of a hallway, and he came out and he's like, now again, like I think we're just gonna walk by each other. I'm not thinking like, and then he's like, he goes, hey man, I just want to let you know, and this is what his words said, you know, and I'm not just trying to say this, like put myself over or anything, but it was like, he says, hey man, I've heard it, you know, from everybody, you're a darling. You're one of the ultimate brothers. Like, I'm just glad to see you in our locker room. And he gave me this hug. Or no, it started with a shoulder rub as he's talking to me. And I'm just like, okay. Then so rubbing his shoulders. And the next thing you know, Fergie, Finn Balor, walks by and goes, you guys good? And then we're just sitting there just loving each other. Like, it was just one of those weird things where it's like, oh my God, like, you know, I didn't know we'd be brothers like this, you know, at first meeting. So every time you go in the locker room, there's always like, because, you know, it's a road life, you know. I mean, it was just anybody, you know, I'm always known to be a funny guy, but with Wyndham, it was like, as soon as you seen him, man, if even if he was mad about something, it was hilarious. Like, he just didn't see, like, he just couldn't take the teddy bears, you know, not like that seriously. And we just had fun talking about horror movies and a lot of stuff. And he would make fun of, like, you know, come on, man, get part of the tattooed life. And I'm like, brother, I got body hair, and I don't know. I don't know what I would put on my body as a tattoo. I really don't. And he would just be like, get this tattoo. And it was just, I cherish those. And so like last time, because again, he wasn't big on texting or calling. So you would get like a random text after the 6th week of the reply and whatever, just how Wyndham was. Like, everything was in person. But I think the last time I saw him before his passing was he's coming back to work with LA Knight, and JoJo, all the kids were there. It was beautiful, the catering. And I just finished my Stephen King book, The Pet Cemetery, because of my dyslexia, and my first book I ever read from front to back. And he was like, he goes, hey, I heard, you know, like you mentioned that. And I had no idea he even saw it. You know, I'm just like, so to me, it was like more happiness of like man, like, I don't know if there's a point to all this besides just missing Wyndham, and but like just having that love from your peers is probably what I've learned. It keeps me motivated because, again, like, I don't know, I love being a lovable guy, but he really makes you feel at home. So I love you, Wyndham. Yeah, man. Make way for the gates of heaven, man, because either you want to do amateur wrestling on the mat, you want to scramble, or you want to get in the ring, because I get that question a lot in interviews where, what's your dream opponent? And I'm not no technical guy, no pretty wrestler, and everything Wyndham does is just as explosive and quick, and I figure we have a hell of a dogfight if we got in the ring. So now it's going to happen in heaven, so love you, brother.
Everybody knows the Bray Wyatt they've seen on TV. But Wyndham, and I'm sure you'll hear tons of stories, was hands down the glue of this place. And he was always the one, no matter where we were, no matter what town we were in, no matter how many shows we had or what was going on, to make sure that all of us got together and we all hung out and we all did things to actually enjoy life in whatever way that was. He was very good at that. From Japan to Germany to Italy. I mean, we would do shows every single night and every single time. Wyndham would always be like, all right, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going. And he would include everybody. He was so good about, didn't matter who you were, it didn't matter what you did, didn't matter if you were crew or if you worked a camera or you were some guy that just was hanging out for the day working security or whatever. If he liked you, you were friends, like you were with us and you were hanging out, and it was truly a family. And he made my first 5-6 years here the coolest, and I just sending love to Captain Mike and Micah and Bo and JoJo and the kids. We love you guys, and yeah, he will be missed.
A couple days ago, a memory popped into my head, and it was back in Florida Championship Wrestling, which was WWE's developmental league at the time. And it was an incident, I guess you could call it, where Wyndham and I had been going back and forth after one of the shows in Punta Gorda, Florida. And to know Wyndham was to know a super competitive guy who just loved to get the last laugh. So I thought I'd gotten one over on him, but lo and behold, we get out to the parking lot. I feel someone waist lock me from behind, hoist me up off the ground, toss me in the bushes. Fans are there laughing, other wrestlers are laughing, and Wyndham was so proud that, once again, he got the last laugh. But I recount that story because about 2 days later, I found out that Wyndham was no longer with us. But I use that example because that is one of many stories that makes me smile when I think of Wyndham. And I feel like anyone who has spent any significant amount of time around him has a moment that they can say Wyndham made them smile. That's who he was. I'm so thankful that so much of my career was spent around him, because he was, at the end of the day, he was just one of the boys. He was just one of the boys. And during the darkest moments, his unforgettable laugh would bring you out of whatever funk you were in. He always had a joke to tell. He was that guy that you needed around. So I just want to say, Wyndham, man, I miss you. I love you. You used to always call me Sax the Max. And I used to call you Husky Rusky. So, Husky Rusky, thank you, man. Thank you for all the years.
He's got the whole world in his hands. 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 He's got everybody in his hands. He's got everybody in his hands. He's got everybody in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hand.